Okay, welcome everybody to LOWLINC's first January 2025, first of the year speaker series. Thank you so much for being here. It's so great to see everybody. I'm glad we came out today before the Arctic blast starts in a few days. As always, we have a fabulous program, and as typically happens almost for every event, is this technology is the challenge, right? So we're working through that, but while we get that settled, we're going to go ahead and get started. So for those of you, I know most of you in the room, but for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jean Kamal, the Executive Director of LOWLINC, and I am really, like I said, happy to see such a big turnout because this is a topic of importance to all of us and something that I know is really important for me and my family. We've experienced some challenges, and also I hope that we all walk away from today's meeting with more information and ways that we can be proactive. So I'd like to ask how many people here are either LOWLINC members or LOWLINC volunteers? Wow. All right, great. And how many of you are guests? All right, well, welcome. So glad that you're here. So for those of you who don't know, LOWLINC is a nonprofit located inside Lake of the Woods, and we provide services that help us stay in our homes for as long as possible. That includes transportation, home maintenance, tech support, tech assistance, and a plethora of other things, social activities. So if you're interested in becoming a member or volunteering with LOWLINC, we do have information on the table back there where Jane, our member services coordinator, is sitting. Hi, Jane. We would welcome you to ask us any questions that you'd like to. So, so please bear with us. We're doing the best we can with the technology that we have. So this is not a huge screen. I know this is a really shy group, Please raise your hand if you can't hear. Raise your hand if you can't see the screen. We can adjust the distance of the screen. Just please communicate with us in these informal two-way conversations. So I guess, are we ready? Okay, super. So I am so excited that we have our presenter today. And I'll need my glasses to be able to tell you about it. So it happens when you grow your hair out. Okay, so Delores Clearfield, she's the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Continuum of Care with Capital City Nurses, and in our area is known as Care Advantage. She's a healthcare professional with a true heart for advocacy. She runs the Continuum of Care program for Capital City nurses covering Virginia, Maryland, DC, and Delaware. Before entering the field of senior services, she spent 19 years working in a youth advocacy role assisting underserved communities by bridging the gap between home and school. After personal family struggles with dementia, she was drawn to helping others deal with similar elder care challenges. Her passion is to truly educate her clients on resources, services, and strategies to manage and overcome struggles in caregiving. She also brought along with her a great panel of folks that we're going to hear from after the film. And then we also welcome Sandy Wilson, who's the rescue chief with Lake of the Woods Fire and Rescue. And so we are just going to have a great conversation today after we watch, it's about a 30-minute film, right? 30-minute film, and then we'll be able to talk with the panel and answer your questions and hopefully walk out of here ready to go. So, all right, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Delores.
All right, so Save Me Claire documentary was made by Ames Production. And we, as Planning for Senior Life, all of us represent individual businesses but collectively come together to make up an organization that is focused on the 5 pillars of aging: legal, housing, healthcare, financial, and social. Those are the pillars that basically help us build and navigate a strong journey. So Mary Mel's partnered with Ames and Planning for Senior Life as part of the Fall Prevention Alliance And we show this documentary and provide education and outreach throughout communities throughout the state. So there is a survey. All of the data for the grant is based on those surveys. The piece of paper that was on your table. If you are not technology challenged, like my 20-year-old, you are more than happy to scan that and you can do it directly from your phone. I prefer pen and paper. So we will go through the surveys and collect them at the end. You do not have to put any personal information on there. We don't need your name. We don't need anything other than a year you were born. And that is the data that keeps this going. And right now, keeps it free. So free is a good word. We'll start the documentary.
Humbug. Ugh. I have walked over that rug.
Maybe you should take Tai Chi with me.
Exercise and physical activity, when prescribed at the right intensity and with the right combination of activities, is really very valuable and appropriate to help mitigate some of those changes.
So I started a theater company. I was 70. Who knew?
They're real people acting out real scenarios that ring true.
We see a lot of hip fractures, we see wrist fractures, we see head injuries, bleeds inside the head, a lot of major injuries that take away a lot of the person's ability to live alone, a person's ability to live without pain. And so that's a major interest to me as a physician, because my whole goal is to have patients live healthy and happy lives.
It just made me stop and think about my own situation, is how she came through to me, and what I would do if I was Claire.
You think I'm old, you think I'm gonna fall, and then at the end, they're telling their kids, well, I do this and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this, and they're making their decisions themselves, and it's not someone else telling them to do it.
So it's changed my life quite a bit. There's a lot of things that I don't do anymore. I'm tempted sometimes, like I had to change this light up here on this thing, and I did go up one step, and I shouldn't have done that, because I promised her I wouldn't, because the results of falling are so overwhelming, you know. So I'm not going to do that anymore.
But there is a lot we can do to prevent falls. They don't have to happen. Some will, but we can do a lot to prevent most of them.
I'd like to take a minute before we get started and have the panelists introduce themselves. Gina had read a little bit about my bio. I've spent my entire adult life in advocacy and education. Ways to help us kind of bridge the gap between where we are and what we need to be, where we want to be, and working with partners who have helped me work with families to navigate their journey successfully. Everybody here is part of that journey. And so we'll go down the line and let you guys introduce and kind of tell them who you are.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. So you don't want to hear this, huh?
My name is Athey-Clearfield. I'm better known as Delores' husband. I work for a home health organization, Healing Home Healthcare, and this kind of really hits home. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and nursing, and it comes to your home. I've been in the senior environment. I worked all different stages. I was with hospice for a while. I was with a personal care agency, and I've been in home health for about 7 years. Love it. It's a great service. So, Athey-Clearfield. Try to shoot it up.
Good afternoon. My name is Sandy Wilson. I am, as Jean said, I am rescue chief at Lake of the Woods Fire and Rescue.
They sound loud to you, but out here it doesn't.
Okay, I'm not deafening you all by screaming into this. I came to the rescue squad 4 years ago. I did 31 plus years in corporate America for AT&T, and I thought I was going to stop by the rescue squad and offer to write grant proposals for them. And so one thing led to another. 3 years later, I'm the chief and just got reelected for next year too, so say a prayer.
Hi, my name is Lori Krause, and I actually,
You can't speak too loud.
I founded Planning for Senior Life as a direct result of helping my family, my parents with a crisis. My dad did fall in the bathroom and broke his tailbone. Was not supposed to be life-threatening, and 36 hours later I got that phone call saying Dad's not going to make it. And so proceeded to go home and help my parents transition. And through that realized I can't be a daughter to everyone, but if I can create the process, the system, help people navigate it, pull all the resources together. And so the creation of Planning for Senior Life came together here, and then finding all of the resources, all of these amazing people here to help you is the reason why I'm here.
So, hello, most of you know me. I'm up here to answer questions about LOWLINC as we go through some of the questions from all of you and ways that LOWLINC can help us, you know, do the things that we need to do to implement a good plan.
Good afternoon. Is it afternoon? Yes. My name is Alonzo Zamora, and I've been part of Planning for Senior Life for about 11 years now. I've been on the board of directors. It's a non-for-profit, and it's also another division of a benefits corp. And we just try to teach people on how to find the right resources out there, whether they're free resources or things that you pay for or what it is, and look at the bottom line. That's I'm also involved with Salvation Army. I've been on the board of directors there for 20 years. But my day job, who pays me, is my son. I work for my son. He's a transition specialist company that helps people downsize or helps you age in place. There's 2 divisions. Decluttering, which is a big part of it. It is really simple to do. Age in place by maybe taking the bathtub out, putting an elevator in, think those kind of things. That's the construction piece. Making sure that you're going to all do that. So actually my son, who I work for, he forced me to downsize now. So I made a transition, and he always tells me this: less is more.
Hi everyone, sorry I'm late. My name is Adriana Garcia. I am the CEO of Athey-Clearfield Management. So we help folks coordinate their care, serve as medical advocates, help connect them with any number of resources, including all the wonderful folks at Planning for Senior Life. And the reason I was late is I was actually on a call with my mom, helping her enroll for Medicare Part A and B. So fun call right there that I just had, but that's the job.
Or you can be it. I'm low. All right, so Saving Claire. The documentary itself was kind of geared towards, we all think about what if, right? And then we think about the what if when it happens to someone else. And so we continue to go about our days doing what we typically do. We are rest assured in the fact that we've got this. And then when that what if happens to us, we end up being on a path that started as wide as the ocean of choices. And then all of a sudden we're frustrated because our path is this narrow and people are no longer talking with us, they're talking at us. And they're no longer giving us choices, they're telling us what we're going to have to do, right? And we stop and we go, well, no. And then it dawns on us that no choice was a choice. And that's a crappy place to be, right? Nobody anticipates falling. Ageism says, hey, we're going to gear all of this education towards older adults. I got news for you. Everybody falls, right, of all ages. I had a traumatic brain injury 2 years ago. In a restaurant, slipped on water in high heels, went airborne and fell. And could not change my own clothes or shower independently for 5 months. Don't remember almost 6 months of my life. We don't have a predictive indexing that tells us this is going to happen to you on this day, at this time, so be ready. We just get it, and then you're like, wait, what? So the goal of Saving Claire is to have some of these conversations, to realize it is not just us or just me that needs to start thinking about this. It is all of us, because we cannot just say one day, that's not going to be me. Would you put your life on that? I wouldn't, right? So as we look at navigating our journeys, we need all of the resources that are up here to kind of help us do that successfully. So with Saving Claire, there was a lot of emphasis in the video put on denying services. I don't want help. Now, I don't really know any of you personally, but I know as people, none of us wants to be talked to like we're two, right? The baby voice. And all of a sudden people are bending down and they're like, ma'am, can I help you? Do I look like I'm broken? Right? So we start kind of pushing aside services. Then we start hearing from our kids what we coulda, shoulda, wouldas, right? Because somehow, magically, they surpassed us in life, had more experiences, and they know everything all of a sudden, right? And believe me, speaking from that, we have 7, so we get it from all angles. But what we don't do is have transparent conversations with healthcare providers, with family members, with elder law attorneys about our advanced care planning, right? And we just assume it's going to work itself out. So we're going to start with fire and rescue. How many calls a week do you guys run where somebody knew they were going to have to call 911 that day?
So for just Lake of the Woods, you guys know we have an Orange County ambulance in the lake as well. And we support all over, behind Walmart, those houses and everything. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But we will run probably 17 calls a week, just us, and that's typically day shifts. And I would say, nobody say how many are calls? Sure. Out of 17 calls, I can pretty much guarantee you that 9 of them will be a fall of some sort. Nobody planned on it, otherwise I would park the ambulance in their driveway and waited for them to fall, right? But not one person planned it. Everybody's embarrassed. Every single person that falls is so embarrassed and a little bit humiliated because they think, wow, I wasn't supposed to fall. Maybe my neighbor was or my brother fell, but not me. And once you're down there and you can't get up, it's tough to allow us to come in and help you if people get embarrassed. But we see it all the time. So I don't want you to be embarrassed or feel bad because you think everybody thinks they're wasting our time, but that's what we do. And we want to check you out when we get there, whether you're embarrassed enough that you don't want us to check your vital signs, or you don't want us to look at your pupils, see if you're bleeding in your brain. You don't want us to do that because you're embarrassed that you fell. But that's not to quote the video, but Claire, last thing she did was hit her head, right? We will never walk up on a scene and go, oh, poor Claire, it's too late for her, she's not going to make it. That's not our job, right? But for the point of emphasis for the video, that's, that can happen. That's a reality every day in any part of the world. So we fall.
Where do you find most people?
Where do you guys think I find most people?
I know where you found me.
I remember where I found you.
He was in the lake.
He was in the lake, bless his heart. Happy. He was happy in the lake, but he wanted some help getting out. Yeah. Yes. Most people we will find in the bathroom. And you know where in the bathroom? For some reason, it is 85% of the time between the toilet and the wall. Do you know how hard it is to get more than one person in there to help you get out? It's usually a pretty tight spot, right? So what the video showed with handrails, grab bars, great idea. Huge idea. That's tremendous. Some of our fellow residents in this area believe that the bathroom is also a room to decorate, and they have these cute little tables, really nice decorative rugs. All those are no good either. Okay, you have to get the rugs that do not slip. Typically they're bath rugs made not to slip. We don't need furniture in the bathroom. We really don't. If you need a place to hold your toilet paper, put it on the back of the tank or something, right? You don't need extra furniture taking up space because we gotta be able to get in there and get to you, okay? Don't be embarrassed. Pants are up, pants are down, no clothes, all clothed.
We've seen it all.
We've seen it all, and I don't want you to be embarrassed because quite honestly, we don't even notice that. What we're noticing is, did you hit your head? Did you lose consciousness? Are you still dizzy? Were you dizzy? Did you trip over something or you passed out? Were you on your way up and you stood up too fast? Were you on the toilet and you were straining? Some people pass out from that and off the toilet they go. That's not really as easy to work toward mitigating, right? You can't really get out of that one, but there are a lot of things you can do in the bathroom. I'm happy to talk to you later if you want to get some more ideas.
So, when rescue comes, a lot of the time, we're not capable of telling them everything that we need to tell them very quickly, right? And other times, we're not conscious to be able to tell them. And if we've hit our head, Lord knows what we've told them, right? Like, I literally had a woman who fell in a community that I worked in, and her husband was visiting her, it was memory care, and he came running up and she said, I don't like that man. We're gonna pretend like we didn't hear that, right? So we don't know. So what do you need from us? Like, what do you need to know the second you walk in the door?
So there are things I need for you guys to do before I even get to your house. And you guys can check this on your way home today. Stop your car at the end of your driveway, okay? Look for that post, the address post that is required of all Lake in the Woods residents. Some homes have them, some don't. Some have 2 letters when they have a 4-letter, or 2 numbers when they have a 4-number address. Please just check it, and do me a favor, make sure your house number is visible going both ways on your street. I don't care about it on the front. I need to see it when I'm coming in at night, both directions. Okay, that's an easy one for you. There are lots of people that'll help you fix that post. That's one thing. The second thing, on your way into your house, you need to keep the sides of your sidewalk clear, and your sidewalk and your front porch as clear as you can. We have to get in there. A lot of our medical equipment doesn't easily glide down your pretty curved sidewalk. So if you have solar lights right on your sidewalk, you might lose those because we need to get equipment in there fast for you, okay? Same thing with rugs on the way in. Be careful with anything on your porch. It's nice to have people wipe their feet, but make sure you have the non-stick surface on the back of it. Take the file of life. How many of you have a file of life at home? Oh, that's great.
Wow.
Oh, that makes me so
That's
happy.
impressive.
This is my favorite tool. This is the nicest thing you can do for Lake of the Woods Fire and Rescue. File of life, if you're not familiar with it, there are some on the table back here. It allows you to sit down and with a clear head, write down what your medications are, write down your drug allergies, write down an emergency contact, because like Delores said, if you can't speak or you're not conscious, we don't have any idea who you are, what medications you take. All we do is we load and go. We try to get to the hospital as quickly as we can. We can't give you anything really in the ambulance because we don't know what you already take, right? So this is tremendous. Even if you live, there are 2 of you in the house, you can have 2 people on here, you can fill one out for each person, because I can't even tell you how many homes we go into, and the wife is fallen, and the husband or the sister is standing there going, I don't know what they take, I don't know, they just fell, and I was supposed to be there to catch them, and I didn't, and you know, you're frazzled. It's an emergency, right? You got all these strangers coming in with all this bulky equipment. This is the best. This sticker makes me so happy. This, if you stick this on the glass on the side of your door, put it down at the bottom where people don't see it from the road or something. But fire and rescue, look for this File a Life sticker that is inside every packet of that. And it tells me, I'm gonna go right to your refrigerator and I'm gonna pull this off. There's a magnet on the back. Your little information that you filled out 6 months ago is all right there. For the most part, it's gonna still be accurate. Things like drug allergies, your emergency contact, that stuff. They may have switched your blood pressure medicine, but that doesn't really matter. This, stick it right on your window. If you don't stick it on the window, stick it someplace we see it when we first walk in, because we all are trained to do a scan looking for this.
And make sure you fill it out in pencil. Things change.
Yes.
Make sure you keep a copy, because if rescue takes it and then the emergency room gets it, the likelihood that you get it back, no.
Pretty slim.
Right? They're lucky if you get your insurance card back in one piece.
Yeah.
And usually they'll hand that back to you if you're giving them the credit card for the deductible.
So all your planters and your solar lights along the side of the sidewalk, you want to kind of move those back away from the sidewalk. You can still make it look really beautiful without having those things right on the path of your sidewalk where they might get messed up. We don't want to mess your stuff up. Once we get inside, it's great if we can open the front door. There are houses in the lake here where you can fit a cat through it, but emergency personnel can't get there. We've had to ask for a code to get in the garage so that we can go around. There's just junk in the hall. And I know what I call junk are your treasures, right? We keep stuff.
We're going to move to the next panelist. She had mentioned stuff in the bathroom, right? She had mentioned the fact that we fall from the toilet and in between the wall or in between the vanity. Alonzo, you are CAP certified. What does that mean?
We are CAP certified with certification of agent in place.
And so when you do a home evaluation, does it cost money?
No, it does not. I come in and assess everything to see where we can do the less cost effective, just to give you some suggestions to see this is what I think you should go, and you might be able to do some of the things yourself, like decluttering, get some boxes. How many people shop at Amazon? They get a lot of boxes, right? That's a lot, and then you just leave those boxes there, and it's just tripping hazards. Our goal is for you not to call her. That's our goal, is for you not to get that, so she doesn't get the call from you. For us to go ahead and put, how many people have grab bars in their bathrooms? How many have the stick, the suction cups, there's suction cup ones that you put in the bathroom? Do you have suction cups?
Yeah, one back here.
We have 2.
We have 2.
No. No. Do not, please, I'm sorry, but do not use those. You're going to end up in the floor with them, because sometimes the suction cups will go in the route line and they won't stick to everything. So you got to make sure you screw those things in. When I pull on the grab bars, they need a whole 500 to 1,000 pounds.
I misunderstood what you.
Oh.
I don't have that.
Okay, perfect. Sorry.
I've already. I've used them and they don't work.
Yeah, they don't work. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, the moisture in the bathroom goes right under the plastic. The moisture from the shower.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So when I'm in the bathroom, and all of us have been guilty of this, in front of us, we have either a toilet holder, or toilet paper holder, or we have a towel bar.
Correct.
How many of us have reached for that toilet paper holder or that towel bar sometimes to get up?
Yes.
How many of us have sat on the toilet and we're like, I got this, I'm gonna rock a little? 1. Okay? Why is that a bad idea?
So, to the rockiness, you're going to end up on the other side of the wall. So you need a higher toilet. You know, you need a heavier toilet. And please don't get the extensions on the toilets. Just get a, you know, a non-expensive toilet that's probably maybe $150, $200 is a higher toilet, so you don't have to rock. The other thing about grab bars and toilet paper is that you will grab at it and you will hurt yourself more, because sometimes you will poke yourself in the eye with it, especially the towel rack. So what I would suggest is have a grab bar that is secure, because you have to go behind the wall to secure all this, and that can be your towel rack. And it uses two purposes, one for your towel rack, and also to hold yourself, or if you're getting up out of the toilet.
So as we're doing an age-in-place inspection, Alonzo tells me this all the time. He's like, Delores, I'm not worried so much that they're going to fall because they're not taking care of themselves. I'm worried that they're going to fall because of their stuff. And I said, what do you mean? So he said, you need to have glass that's not going to shatter. And I said, I don't understand. Explain.
So how many of you guys have a glass coffee table? Is it tempered glass? Perfect, great. It needs to be tempered glass. If not, we can check that for you, whether it's tempered glass. Because if you fall on that coffee table that's really low, it could cut you really bad. So that's why it has to be temper controlled. And like I said, clutter and all those things, the rugs are a tremendous hazard for the rugs. So the more you can get rid of the rugs, you know, they have those ugly socks that you wear, those thick socks that, you know, instead of, but I wear them today just to, you know, around the bathroom or around hardwood floors, that no carpets. And no carpets on top of carpets. That's just definitely no.
No, yes. Carpets on top of carpets.
Yes. So
what
if you have a rug,
carpets on hardwood?
I don't recommend it unless you really have something that is really going to stick on both sides, like a pad. But I still don't like it. I still don't recommend it. Especially, you know, let's just say you have a walker or you have a cane and it gets caught. You might go down. And that's when we want to make sure you don't call this young lady here.
So, Brad, as we're
how long does it take to do a home safety inspection, roughly?
So it takes maybe about 15 minutes to half an hour, but I also like to see how you get out of bed. I like to see how you're coming out of the shower, how you step over the tub if you need to walk over the tub. There's a lot of things that I just see what you do on your daily basis. What do? You get up in the morning, show me what you do. How do you walk to the kitchen? What do you do? Where? The other thing also, then I appreciate that question because it lies onto another part of it. Sometimes I get up in the middle of the night around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the bathroom, and I'm just like,
me too.
Right? So you can go and get lights that will automatically turn on for you. They're sensor lights. They're very inexpensive. You're probably going to spend like $20 on sensor lights that they will light up the path towards the bathroom. So those are the kind of things that you should just think about. You don't need to call me for that. Just do it. You know, those are the kind of things. I rather you prefer not to call me. I'd rather just give you all these tips and things like that.
So as he's mentioning that, one of the things that all of us have that we're already paying for, that we can utilize, is our smartphones, right?
Yes.
We have in our homes, Google Homes, Amazon Alexas, Echo Dots, Apple phones, Android phones, it doesn't matter. If it is voice activated, if you yell out to it, Siri, Alexa, Google, call, I'm going to say rescue because the last time I said 911, everybody's phone dialed 911. They were not happy with me. So I try to be very quiet now when I say it. But if your phone is voice activated, when you go to bed, you take it with you. Put it on the nightstand. Better yet, put it on the floor because if you go down, you can actually get to it. Right? But it can call your child, your neighbor. It can call rescue if it's voice activated. If someone is memory impaired, it can track their location as long as they have it with them. right? There are simple things that we can do. How many of you guys have seen the tiles or the Apple, what are those tags, air tags? I've seen dementia clients' families cut the sole of their tennis shoe and stick it in there.
That's good.
Shoes go on in the morning, I know where he's going all day long.
Right.
Right? Those are little things. Not everything that we do. Everybody thinks when I go talk to somebody about age and place, when we talk about fall prevention, these people, as soon as I walk in the door, all I hear is cha-ching. Not always, right? Evaluations. If you are sitting on the toilet and you're that one that's rocking, or you're using the towel bar or the toilet paper holder to get up, or you got a hand on the toilet and a hand on the sink, right? How much do you trust all your weight on your arms? Would you do a handstand? If you would not do a handstand, and you're trying to hold on to things to push yourself up with your own arms, you need to be talking to your doctor about getting an order for a physical and occupational therapy evaluation. Brad, do I need to wait until I get hurt?
Absolutely not. When you visit,
Trying to hear Philly in my voice.
Excuse me, we have people in the back, so if you could use the microphone.
Yeah, use the mic.
Sorry about that. So, when you visit your primary care physician, and there are some that make house calls, but when you go for your 6-month checkup, if you notice you feel you're not quite right, you're not stable, you feel a little dizzy, you can ask them to write orders for physical therapy, occupational therapy, evaluation, and treat. That way, when you have an ethical home health agency come out, they're going to send their physical therapist out to do a start of care. They will do the evaluation and then come up with a plan of care to help you out. Just like Delores said earlier, we all think we've got it. We don't necessarily have it. If you're feeling dizzy, you might just need some vestibular therapy, help align the crystals in your middle ears to help you with your balance. As you saw in the documentary, the physical therapist was walking with the gentleman over the step, over the block in the floor. How many of you would, if you just do that by yourself, like hit it and go down? They're helping you with your balance, your strength, your stability, and the proper way to move along.
So, how many of you guys have been surfing on the ocean? A few? Okay. How many of you have been furniture surfing? Do you know what I mean? So when people are surfing, their hands are out like this. When you start noticing as people are walking by, we're holding one piece to the next. We're furniture surfing for balance. And when we start furniture surfing, it is as safe as it is to pull on a toilet roll holder and think it's going to hold us up. Furniture and us are now going down, right? When you're furniture surfing, you're off on balance, you don't feel secure. You need to get an evaluation for physical and occupational therapy. If you have fallen before, do you know what causes most falls? Fear. Fear. Unpreparedness and fear. If you have fallen, you know the consequences. You know the pain. You know what happened. We don't want to do that again. So we become hyper-vigilant, overly cautious. And guess what happens when you fall when you're hyper-vigilant? You're tense. Guess how much more you get hurt? A lot. Physical and occupational therapy can help you compensate for some of those fears. They can teach you techniques. Alonzo's talking about age-in-place safety. Getting in and out of my shower. How many of you still have a step-in shower? Bathtub, lip, something, right? So after I fell, I'm back to work and I'm thinking I am good. Guess what my husband does? He steps out of the shower, not on the non-slip road, and gets water on the floor. I forgot something. I'm dressed. I come back in and I'm running to get the lipstick tube by the toothpaste container and whoop, down again.
She was okay, she fell on her tail.
And that's another misconception. They seem to think, my sister said to me, she says, well, you've got some meat back there. It didn't hurt that bad. I was like, it does hurt, and it doesn't matter if you got a little bit or a lot or none. It still hurts, right? We can't predict everything, but we can proactively do things to keep us safe, right? Physical and occupational therapy is not the time to have it when you're in the emergency room. Prior to. Safety, in and out of a car, in and out of a chair, up and down, in your kitchens. How many of you reach for those appliances we put away because we only pull them out on holidays? How many of us have dishes that are stacked and the family's coming for dinner, so my husband's not here, I'm just going to grab this stack? How many of you have step stools in your kitchen? Fall risk, right? The things that we use all the time, you mitigate your risk, you bring them down to arm level. Now, she's laughing. I am 5'9". My mother claims to be 5'3". My mother's like 4'11". Okay? On a good day, yes. And so she'll, Delores, Suzanne, get off me, I got it. How many of you have said that to somebody? I got it. Stop it. My famous line, you're not the boss of me. You are not the boss of me, right? I've said that to my sons. You are not the boss of me. I've said it to my husband. We don't need somebody to be the boss of us, but we need to own our own choices so that we can mitigate our own consequences. So looking at the panelist, this is a lot. Age-in-place therapy, rescue, advanced care planning documentation. We start looking around the house, we get overwhelmed, and then we start saying, is this the right place to be? Is this my forever home? Lori, when we look at that, does it make sense to have an age-in-place specialist come in, talk about what good looks like, and then possibly talk to somebody in real estate or project management to say, option A, option B, and then what else is out there?
Yes, it is definitely always really good to look at your options. Sometimes if you're like there are some homes that are already age-in-place ready, right? You've got, and what do you mean by age-in-place ready? You've got your laundry, you've got your master bedroom, your master bathroom, the kitchen, all on the same level, so that you don't have to go up and down stairs if you don't need to. We did take care of a client recently that they still had to walk down the stairs, and then they also had a really steep driveway. And so sometimes it's not necessarily what you're doing 80 or 85, 90% of the day. It's what is the access to get to that. And you know, as Delores talked about her personal injury, 7 years ago I had 2 major back surgeries due to a car accident. I had single level, you know, I just had to walk up, you know, 1 step to get to the main and then walk in my house. But there was no bathroom or bedroom on the main floor, and I had to go upstairs. I couldn't walk hardly from the couch over to the bathroom just to go to the bathroom. Getting up the stairs was another major hurdle. And it took me years to get my physical capacity completely back. And so for me, just knowing that I need to go from the garage and into the house without stairs could be a major deal. When I was looking at downsizing, I downsized 5 years ago because I no longer needed this big house. And I appreciate what Alonzo says to me all the time. He's like, less is more. And you know, we buy these houses and then we grow out of them. And sometimes we grow out of our clothes too, right? And so then we get into the next house and then the next house, and all of a sudden it's back to just 1 or 2 of you in the house, and yet you've got this really big house. And so you're paying the most expensive storage you'll ever have. And so I looked at it, I was like, well, I don't need 3,000 square feet, or I don't need 8,000 square feet anymore, right? But it needs to be what makes my life really manageable, and then also looking at the improvements. Because sometimes we stay in our house and we're like, well, I'm just going to put a Band-Aid on this. I'm going to get a step-in tub, or I'm going to do these little things that really just, I enjoy it more, and I'm all for that. You know, spend your money because you worked really hard for it all your life. Spend it and use it for you. But sometimes maybe the better choice is, instead of putting a Band-Aid on it, do a bathroom renovation and get a walk-in shower with no threshold, have it be big enough so that if you needed to use a walker or a wheelchair to get in and out of it, you could. And when I make recommendations, if there's extra space and we can steal from somewhere else and it's not going to minimize the value of the rest of your home, maybe you can have a really nice master bedroom, bathroom suite. And now the ambulance can easily get in, help you out when you need to, but it can be so aesthetically pleasing that you're really happy, enjoying, and living in your home longer because you've taken the time to do it. And those things can be added value at the end of the day too.
So how many of you have ever heard somebody, my house never looked better than it did the day we sold it? Right? We fix the carpets, we fix doorways, we patch walls, we do all the things, and then we're like, wait, I don't want to move anymore. All of the things we meant to do, coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? We just put them off. And it's crazy. We put them off, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, I need this. This is not working for me anymore. So when we look at age in place, modification, do I stay, do I go? How does rescue get to me? How do I stay being my best self? Inevitably, for some of us, hopefully not a lot of us, the what if happens. And we don't know sometimes how to advocate for ourselves in different healthcare settings. How to figure out, do I need home care? Do I need physical therapy? Do I need a skilled nursing? The doctor just came to me and said, don't worry, we're going to send you to a SNF. And you're, what does that mean? Right? I don't know what a SNF is. How do you navigate that? So advocacy comes in many forms throughout the journey. There are social workers, discharge planners at every healthcare setting you will be at. Most of them do an okay job. But are they employed by you or are they employed by the facility? The facility. Non-biased, third-party advocacy. How do we find that? It's typically through continuum of care guidance and care management. Adriana, can you speak a little bit to that?
So that is exactly what my company does, and we are extremely proud to be the largest care management in the area, and we are truly 24/7 care management in the area. And what that means is, how many of y'all are living independently? Raise your hands. What happens, God forbid, you need rescue at 3 a.m., you end up in the hospital, you end up with a discharge planner, who's going to be there? If you have someone like us, we will be your advocates. We can be immediately at the hospital with you, holding your hand, serving as advocates. What's going to happen after you go into the emergency room and you spend 12 hours in the emergency room? What happens next? Are you going to be able to be safely discharged home? Are you going to need to maybe take an intermediate step? What happens in 3 months, in 6 months? What does your rehab plan look like? And that's what my company does for individuals. Not those that are just living independently, but for anyone that needs our services. Sometimes things unfortunately get complicated. How many of you are caregivers for maybe a spouse, a son, a daughter? How many of you are taking care of someone else? If something happens to you, what's going to happen to that person that you are the caregiver for? Or maybe you're overwhelmed. So life gets complicated, and that is what our services are, to be there, to be your advocate, to help you along the whole step of the journey.
So case in point, and rescue can verify this, if you are the primary caregiver, especially if there's cognition issues, if there's intellectual disabilities for a grown child living in your home, you go down, rescue is coming in to assess and triage you to get you to your next step. Hospital, right? Typically. They are not going to go, are you going to be okay if we take her? Because most of the time, if any of you have ever had a loved one that has cognitive impairment, you go to the doctor with them and the doctor says, so tell me what's going on. And, oh, things are fine. And you're going, no, they're not. No, they're not. They don't know. We present with cognitive impairment very well most of the time. So if you go down and you know your spouse is a wanderer and you have eyes on them all the time and they take you, what happens to them? Right? These are the kind of things. A village concept, for those of you that are not familiar, do you want to speak a little bit more to the advocacy and the resources within the village? Because I love the village model. That's how Gene and I met. We were at the Village to Village Network event where a ton of villages come together, and it's all about advocacy and community and resources and how do I do this?
Yeah, so I was sitting here thinking, it takes a village. Oh, we are a village, yay. But it takes, our LOWLINC village, but also so many other people to really, make the whole picture work. So from a personal standpoint, I had lunch with my 40-something-year-old daughter yesterday, and she started to ask the questions. So what are you going to do, Mom? And I'm like, what?
I'm going to eat my lunch.
She was trying to give me a little hint, and I mean, she loves me, she cares about me, she'll be there for me in ways that she can, but there's only so much she can do. I was already starting to try to, do some things, but that was a good little reminder, like I better keep going, trying to get those grab bars installed. But back to what LOWLINC can do. So, we do try to help support aging in place through educational programs like today, and I'm just so thankful for everybody who's here and has provided so much information. We try to help people stay active and healthy. We have our weekly walking program and other activities. And we have, our health and wellness programs, our social activities, so we all stay connected and we're not alone and we're not, we have our friendly visitors. So there's so many things that we do to help support all that we do to live independently. But again, reaching out to professionals, there's a lot our volunteers do. So much that our volunteers do. And our home maintenance folks, I mean, that's a huge one, right? But we have limits. We're not going to be able to bring you home from the hospital and take care of you for 3 weeks, 24/7, if that's the kind of support that you need after a medical incident.
That's what I do.
So I do want to encourage you to. We have a list of service providers, and it's something that we're trying to beef up. So if you interact with folks and you have a really good experience, whether it's medical or any other service provider, please let us know so that we can add folks to our list. And real quick, I just want to mention, because we have somebody here who has resources, he also presented at a previous speaker series meeting with Seth. If you just raise your hand real quick. So Seth's with the Disability Resource Center, and they have, if you're thinking about home modification, he's got resources, some funding, and I think if you're a veteran, you get even more opportunity for funding help. But even without that, he's connected with all those people who actually know how to do those home modifications. And so, you might want to catch up with him after the meeting, because I know we're running out of time here. But I am truly appreciative of all the information that we heard today, and so thank you. But I'll turn it back to you.
Yeah. So I'm going to have one more thing to talk about before we turn it over to questions. Number one cause of falls, hands down. Doesn't matter the demographic, doesn't matter the area, doesn't matter the weather, doesn't matter the environment. Number one.
You weren't wearing your leg.
Funny.
Alcohol.
Not alcohol. Tequila. He said tequila. Y'all pray for me. Pride. 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 We get a doctor's advice. We get a physical therapy evaluation. We hear presentations. Again, our mind goes to maybe. And then you get home and you look around your environment, and that pride puffs us up a little bit more, and you're like, you know what? I'm good. That wasn't me. We get a piece of equipment, a cane, a walker, a roll leader. And we go to a social environment and we look around to see how many other people are using them.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We sit it down. We put it to the side. We know going up the stairs. I still, to this day, my husband Lord love him, every time I'm walking, his hand is behind my back, around my arm, on my waist, or something, because he knows I still, to this day, I'm not supposed to be wearing high heels, but I have a lot of them, and I really, really like them. I go sideways, and I don't even realize I'm going sideways. I'm walking down a hallway, and I can't tell you, everything that sticks out is usually bruised at some point or another, right? Pride. When I fell, he had to go to work, my kids had to leave, our 20-somethings that are still in our house. And he comes in with a walker, a cane, and a bedside commode, and a shower chair. Now, we collect and repurpose durable medical equipment to the community at large that needs it. We've done it for 7-8 years. And he walks in with this stuff, and I was like, what are you doing? He said, I'm leaving this for you. I have to go to work. I said, have you lost your upper love and mind? Who's using that? He said, you are. Have you met me? I raised 6 boys. I don't need that. Right? So what do? I get up, and I'm thinking, I'm going to change the laundry. Guess who ended up head first in the washing machine with my feet in the air, screaming like a girl, because I couldn't get myself out because I had no balance. I literally thought I was going to die upside down in my washing machine. Pride. Your journey. One life. It's yours. Do not let what other people think. Perception versus reality is a very real thing. Nobody walks in your shoes. Nobody lives your life. Nobody else is going to have your consequences. Pride. Okay? Questions?
And I know normally we wrap up around this time, so if you can stay, please do, because this is an important part of our presentation. Also, if you do have to check out, we really appreciate, we have 2 surveys, the surveys.
Yep, 1 survey, 2 pages, front and back. If you could leave that on your chair, we will collect them. Don't need personal information.
And then also, and then also the LOWLINC survey. I know that's 2 surveys, but hopefully they're quick. And if you didn't get a LOWLINC survey, Jane back there has them, so raise your hand, she can bring one to you. So thank you for taking the time to do that. Also, Margaret is here with the microphone, so she's going to walk around. And I do have lovely gift bags for the first 2 people who raised their hand or ask a question.
She has a question right here.
Okay.
She's had her hand up before you said gift bag. So.
Can you raise it one more time, please? Oh, sorry. If you live alone and your house is locked up and you fall and you call somebody, how do you guys get in if I'm not able to get to the door?
There's 2 ways. Go ahead.
Yes, there's the easy way, in which you have left with the 911 center the code to get in your door or the location of a hidden key. Definitely not under the planter on your porch. Then that's the easy way to get in. The other way is we are required to use force to get in, and we typically let the fire department or the sheriff's deputies do that. But we will try every window and door into your house before we break something.
So that thing, you're saying that I can put a key in that and put it outside the house?
Yes, you can. You can contact, I can't remember what the name of the service is with Orange County.
Smart 911.
Smart 911, thanks Delores. It's Smart 911. Go online and you fill out some information. In there you can put your door code, like mine is just a code, I don't have a key. So Smart 911 has my code. But you can also enter in there where you have a key hidden outside and to which door that key goes.
You can do coded boxes that go right on your door.
A lockbox?
Or you can buy a realtor's lockbox from Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's for $20 and put it on there and tell Smart 911 the code to get the key.
Or you could take one of your empty medicine bottles, put a key in it, glue it to a rock, and just set it out somewhere it is. You can explain where it is. And there are lots of things.
If you're conscious.
Yeah, and your conscience.
Right.
Right? And the thing is, you gotta understand too, when I think about stuff like that, what we think from an explanation makes sense to us because we know what it means, is like when your children were younger and they say, Mom, I can't find my shoes. They are right here. And they go 4 times to find those shoes and they never find them. And you get up and walk right to them. What we see and what other people perceive of what we're telling them, right, can be different. Yep. So you don't have time to play with. So also, if you're still driving, there is an emergency contact form. You can get these off the table back there or at any DMV. When they scan the back of whether or not you're driving, you have a walker's ID. When they scan that card, it comes up with your 2 emergency contacts. Because not all of us fall at home. We fall out and about. We get into car accidents, right? This brings up your 2 emergency contacts. It is free through the Department of Motor Vehicles, and everyone in your family should fill this out. Okay? Those are back there on the table. Yeah. When they scan that barcode.
I worry about that so often because my husband's on the road all the time.
I filled it out for my children, made them sign it, and put it in the mail.
Oh my God.
So, next question.
My mom lives in another state. She's 99 and a half and lives alone. But we got a Knox box. I think that's what I'm talking about. We got it through the fire department. And she fought like crazy and has been used several times. She fell in the bathroom and was down on the floor because I couldn't get a hold of her during the day for like 7 or 8 hours. Another time she slipped from medicine she was taking. She was fully dressed but made her slip into the bathtub.
What state she is?
So the fire department does not offer those. You can get them on Amazon. Yeah, you can get them.
Contacted, like they know her number, so like I've called the police different times for safety checks, non-emergency number, and they call the fire department and get the Knox box. They take care of that then.
Yeah, there are different businesses around here that have Knox boxes that we have the codes to.
So if we would get something like that, we give it, we let the fire department know?
You do the Smart 911. Okay, that's all of dispatch. So I would let 2 people know. I would do Smart 911. I'm counting as a person. The other people I would let know about your knock box and the code to it is low security.
Oh, low security?
Okay, sometimes they are first on the scene.
And I'll just add real quick. So next month we're having Deputy Ryan Kessner come and talk about fraud prevention, but I'm also going to invite him back again to talk about the alert devices that they offer and some of the services they offer. So please come back to our speakers meeting.
Why don't you sit on the chair?
There you go. If you look, Orange County on their website has the information for Smart 911. You can call and let someone know mental health, codes to your home, firearms, hearing, vision impairment, all of these things, cognition, should be notated with Smart 911. Okay? How to access your home, code to your front doors, you will basically build out what's called a safety profile. So this lets rescue know on the way. Now, does rescue still need your file of life?
Sure.
Yes, because they don't know if you're on a blood thinner, if you have a heart, a pacemaker, right? They don't know if you have an artificial hip. They don't know any of those things without you filling out and providing that information. Smart 911 through Orange County, this is one of the smartest things from a rescue standpoint that's been ever put in place. And now there's also the Marcus alert, which is tied into Smart 911 for those with mental health or intellectual disabilities, right? Because we don't know as first responders when they show up, police, fire and rescue, if you are delusional, if you're on drugs, if you have dementia, right? You don't know unless somebody gives you a heads up, and that's what this was designed to do. Yes, ma'am.
I'm assuming that is a free service. Can you confirm that?
Orange County is free.
Yes, it is. And if I can just jump in real quick. So we had a tech talk on this topic, and we also have volunteers who are willing to provide tech assistance. So if you get stuck on getting through this process, please call our usual 855 number and we'll help you out.
Village. use it. Any other questions?
I don't have a question, but through AARP, I got a guardian alert from my husband has passed for him. And with that, you know, you get a lockbox or the key in it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you press that, they know the code to get into your house.
Yes. So AARP, if you're a member, has benefits as well. You'll have to look. They run different incentives, different plans all the time. AARP, if you're not a member, you should still be looking at their website. They have a fraud watch network, which is telling you about the up and coming scams and things that you need to be looking for. Most of the life alert pendant type systems, some are now watches, are going to have a monthly service fee, just like you would pay for an alarm company at your house. Some people don't have the money for things like that. There are guardians, there are, oh gosh, through Fire and Rescue in different counties, there are locator services, Project Lifesaver.
Yeah, Triad.
Sorry,
Triad.
my brain doesn't work as fast as it used to. Through the Triad, you can reach out to them too. They may have some of these resources, but as long as you are doing something to proactively not be alone and unable to access help, right? Was this helpful?
Yes.
Yes. Yes?
Hold on one second before you wrap up. I want to make one comment. We talked about adaptive devices, you know, durable medical equipment. When you're in a situation and you are being offered a piece of equipment, like if you live in a rehab or a hospital, and you're offered either a rollator, a walking front wheel rollator, or a wheelchair, take the more expensive item because it will not get replaced. When you get that piece of equipment, you must keep it. I'm talking original Medicare. Most managed plans are the same. When you get that piece of equipment, keep it for 5 years. If you get a piece of equipment, a wheelchair today, because whatever, and 6 months later you're out of it, sitting in your dining room in the corner, you get tired looking at it. A year later, so now you're 2 years later, you're hosting Thanksgiving dinner. I'm tired of this wheelchair. Out it goes. 6 months after that, you're changing your light bulb, you need a wheelchair, not giving you one. So keep that piece of equipment for 5 years. Try and get the higher end piece of equipment, a wheelchair versus a front wheel walker, because the front wheel walker is $40 or $50, the wheelchair is a couple hundred or whatever.
Medicare pays for the larger piece of equipment. They'll pay for a piece of equipment every 3 to 5 years for mobility. Hospital beds are the same. Hospital bed, they will pay for a basic half-rail partial electric bed. When you get that order, the hospital, the durable medical equipment company will call you and say, do you want to upgrade? We're always thinking now, not later. So what do we say? No. After 2 years, 14 months actually with Medicare, you own that bed.
That's a good thing.
When something changes 2, 3 years down the road, and you now need a fully electric that will lift you up, lift you down, sit you up, full rails because you are a fall risk, Medicare says, well, you already have a bed we paid for. Always think long-term, further reaching than right now. Take it. The upgrades are minimal. You're going to own the bed after 14 to 16 months with Medicare anyways. It is yours to keep. Get what you need for the long haul. Take the wheelchair, not the walker or rollator. And if somebody's going to give you equipment, talk to your doctor about a physical or occupational therapy evaluation to learn how to safely use it. We all want the Rolls Royce of the rollator, right? It has got the wheels, it has got the seat, I got a bag, it is purple, I love this thing. Guess what? If you have grip strength issues, if you have cognition issues and your brain doesn't engage fast enough to tell your hands to pull a brake, that purple Cadillac is still going and you're going right with it, right? You don't know how to navigate it successfully, you don't have the balance, you're going to turn around to sit down on that thing and it's moving, and your butt's on the ground and you're going, well, you didn't help. Right? There's a reason that we are appropriate for the equipment that is assigned to us by a physical therapist or a medical professional. They know the things that we don't.
To tag along with that, we have a fabulous service here at the lake. The Lions have a loan closet. and terrific equipment. But one thing that is, sometimes we forget, is that what she's saying is when you're at the point where insurance is going to be covering you, you should be, number one, you should be getting it fitted to you. If I need a wheelchair, I am not a professional physical therapist. You know, as a social worker, I'm not a therapist. So I can look at that chair and go, oh, it's comfortable, but if it doesn't fit me right, and the edge of the wheelchair hits right here, it can cut off circulation and hurt you.
Pressure sores.
So you should
pressure ulcers.
do not play physical therapist and say, you know, I'm just going to save Medicare, whoever, a little bit of money, and I'll just use what they have up there.
Don't save Medicare money. Insurance companies are in the business of not paying.
Don't
They
do
do
it.
pay. We pay
Get-
for them.
Get the right,
100%.
get the right people. If you have grandma coming for the weekend, that's one thing to get a loan closet item.
Right.
Or let's say you are offered something that is the catalog and you really want that purple rollator. Take it to a physical therapy appointment and say, you know what, is this, don't use it first, but take it and say, you know, is this appropriate? And
They go
help
up,
me.
they go down, they
Size.
shrink in size, they shrink wider. There's big wheels, little wheels, there's rolling wheels, there's pick up and stop, some are too heavy.
There's adaptations they can do, you know, the old tennis balls on the bottom. So it is not, they're not all the same.
None of them stop your husband from speaking though, I'm just saying. So this is what needing to have your hearing checked and absolutely refusing
Hey,
to do so
Alonzo,
looks
you
like.
have 3 hours to come give me a home safety assessment.
Thank you guys so very much. We are around if you have questions.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.